Good morning, brothers and sisters, and welcome to our UK Providence meeting today on Saturday, the 30th of May 2020. Of course, we haven't had one of our national Providence meetings for a while because of the coronavirus situation, but we're grateful that we are able to organise this online live stream. So thank you for joining us this morning, and I hope that you will be able to have an uplifting and enriching experience through today's programme. My name is Matthew Hewish. I am the pastor of the Bromley community, and I'm also the Assistant National Director. It's my privilege to be your MC for today's programme. The last few months have been, of course, very busy for many of us, very challenging in many ways. But of course, significantly, one of the most exciting things that has happened recently is the launch of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, a new umbrella to cover all of the activities that we're doing, whether it's through Family Federation or the Universal Peace Federation or the Women's Federation, all as one community trying to build the kingdom of heaven on earth, Chonilguk. So this is an exciting time, and in our program today we have a number of reports and testimonies and also some announcements about some upcoming plans. But before we get into any of that, I want to invite you to begin by joining me in a word of prayer. Our loving Heavenly Parent, we want to take a moment to connect with you in our hearts. I pray, Heavenly Parent, that we can feel abundantly grateful for all the blessings you shower upon us, all the grace you show us. We know that we come before you with insufficiencies, with limitations, having made mistakes, and not having completed everything that we wanted to do. When we think about your efforts, not just throughout all of history, but your efforts now in order to save humanity and to save this world, we know that you never stop. We know that sometimes, Heavenly Parent, we need to take a moment to breathe. We need to take a break in order to relax and recover. And that's not a bad thing. But we know, Heavenly Parent, you have never stopped. Our true parents have never stopped devoting themselves for the cause of realizing your original ideal and doing whatever it would take to fix the problems of the world, not just right now, but also to dig deep into the roots of history in order to solve the problems there. We know, Heavenly Parent, that behind us is a long history of suffering which needs to be absolved and healed. But also we know that we are standing upon the foundation of many good men and women who have gone before us, because of whom we can stand where we are today, with a relationship with you, with our true parents, with the divine principle. And whatever baggage we may still carry with us, we know that we are indeed the recipients of incredible grace. Heavenly Parent, with that gratitude in our hearts, with that appreciation, I pray that we can come before you with joy, that we can be free, that we can be liberated, knowing that when we unite together in your true love and we center ourselves on your purposes, then we know that miracles can happen. And so I pray, Heavenly Parent, that even now, in this morning's Providence meeting, miracles can take place in our own hearts, that dots can be connected in our minds and in our hearts and between each other, that through the relationships that we share with each other, even through this pre-recorded live stream, or even on the Zoom meeting that we will share together in a moment, that some things will happen to allow your providence to move forwards in this nation more quickly and more manifestly than ever before. We offer ourselves to you, and we want to inspire you with the reports that we offer to you now. But also, Heavenly Parent, We simply want to create this space where we can be a family, enjoying being present with each other in the embrace of our Heavenly Parent. We offered this UK Providence meeting to you now, and we invite you to enter into our hearts, to fill us up with your love and your truth, and to inspire us even more greatly than we'd attempt to inspire you. All these things I want to report now in my name, Matthew Hewish, of the Blessed Central Family. June. Before we continue, I want to invite you to sing a song together.
As the deer panteth for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You're my friend, and you are my brother, even though you are a king. I love you more than any other, so much more than anything. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. I want you more than gold or silver, only you can satisfy. You alone are the real joy giver and the apple of my eye. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee.
The last few weeks have been quite challenging for our national community. It's been quite a sad time because of the loss of some of our dear friends. 3 brothers and 1 sister of our national community have recently ascended to the spirit world, and we've already had a couple of Songhua ceremonies, and another couple of Songhua ceremonies still to take place. But to begin with, I would like to invite some of our members to share some words about the members who have recently passed on.
Hello everyone. So recently in the North England community, we had a Sungwa ceremony for our dear sister Yoriko Grayson. And the ceremony took place on the 19th of May 2020 at 9 a.m. and we concluded the ceremony at 10:30 a.m. Present during the ceremony was Yoriko's husband Brian, her daughter Lillian, and her son Joseph, as well as other members of our community, including myself. And of course, due to the virus, only 10 people were allowed to come to the ceremony. Nevertheless, during the entire time, when we're doing the burial ceremony and the sungwa, I truly felt the presence and the support from our members and our brothers and sisters, not just in the North England community, but also from all across the UK. And so for that, I would like to thank you all for your support. I'd like to thank you for your kindness, and I'd like to thank you for your compassion. Yoriko was a very, very kind lady in our community. She was always so selfless and always tried to live for the sake of others in some way or serve others in one way or another. And also, Yoriko was very talented. She was an extremely talented musician. She loved to play the piano, and she always loved to sing, especially when I was younger. I remember during Sunday service, Yoriko will always she always sang and offer, a song. And when she sang, her voice was so beautiful that it will take you to another place, somewhere peaceful, and you just feel so happy. And her voice brought so much joy in my heart, and it's definitely been a pleasure and an honor to know her and to be able to share these experiences with her. I would really like to thank you all for your kindness and thank you all for your compassion, and of course we also give back the same kindness and support to all our brothers and sisters and all the families across the UK who are going through similar circumstances. And but with that being said, I'd like to, on behalf of the Graysons, on behalf of the North England community, I'd like to thank you all.
Wolfram Wiedeke was a good friend. He was born in Frankfurt. We knew each other in the early days. In Newcastle, we worked together, and Dunbar in Scotland, where he worked with Ed Stacey in our workshop centre there in the Manor House. That's the place I'll associate with him the most, probably, up there in Dunbar. He loved to be there. He had a home church area where he used to travel around and sell eggs to people. And I'll tell you a story about that in a moment. He had a deep desire to share True Father's words with people. And in his later on, when he lived in Lancaster Gate, he used to go down to Hyde Park Corner preaching and bring guests back to Lancaster Gate for lively discussions. Sometimes he'd bring some guests up to my house where we could continue those kind of discussions of life and the Bible, divine principle. But during his time in Dunbar, he told me one story when I was up there. He had one couple that he used to sell eggs to who were quite a spiritual couple, but they couldn't easily hear the word God. But he wanted to share Father's words with them. So in order to do that, he took whole sections of Father's speech and rewrote them by hand. This was the time before computers. He rewrote them by hand, replacing the word God with Great Spirit, because he felt, well, at least they get Father's words in some form. I thought this was quite something, and this was typical somehow of Wolfram's out-of-the-box kind of thinking that impressed me. Well, in spite of having a serious injury as a child, which affected him physically, he was really tenacious. He loved to have a good discussion, or many of you who know him like to have a good argument even, but he was always good-natured about it. And physically, he loved running. And he ran the marathon 3 times, the London Marathon. The last time he ran it, he was 48 years old. The last 10 years of his life, unfortunately, he suffered with Parkinson's disease, but he never complained. And this year, September the 1st, he would have been 69. He was blessed in 1982, 6,000 couples, to Tycho Wiedeke, and he has one daughter, Elizabeth. Thank you for your life, Wolfram.
Our UK movement lost another national treasure. a bright light with the passing of our beloved brother, Henry Masters. On one hand, we can say, sadly, but on the other, we can say with great joy in our hearts that he has now passed on to reap the reward of a life well spent in his eternal home in heaven. When I think of Henry, the first memory that comes to my mind was when he and another brother came to the monastery in Surrey, where I was a novice, Franciscan monk. At Christmas, we novices were told we could go home for the day, but it was too far for me to go home to Cardiff, my hometown, so I wrote to the church in Row Lane farmhouse and asked if I could come and visit for the day. Not only did they say yes, but they offered to come and pick me up and bring me back again later. Henry was the one to drive down to Surrey and pick me up and to drive me back to Row Lane farmhouse. I was met by Avril and some other members, and so spent the day with them, where they made me feel like I had come home. During the course of the day, Avril and Henry spent some time teaching me the principle and helping me to understand what this movement was all about. As the day went on, Avril and Henry were encouraging me to understand that as the Messiah was on the earth, why would I want to spend my life in a monastery? By the time I was due to go back, I had come to the decision to leave the monastery and join, but I needed to go back and tell the monks that I was leaving. Needless to say, by the time Henry drove me back, it was very late, and we decided that Henry would wait for me in the car while I went in and told everyone that I was leaving. But unfortunately, they were all in bed, so there was no way that I could wake people up and tell them. So what I did was simply to leave my habit on the bed with a copy of the Divine Principle, sneak out of the door where I met Henry in the car, and away we drove. Not back to Row Lane farmhouse, though, but to Cleeve House, since there was a workshop for the members taking place. Later, Avril came to Cardiff, and she and I fundraised together, and before Henry and Avril finally went off to America for a number of years, with Henry helping father to develop the boat building business. Henry and Avril were very challenged at the time when they joined because on part of their social status, but also particularly their family's attitude. But with great heart and spirit and incredible faith, they pushed through all the obstacles they faced, and one can say almost literally, thinking of Jesus' words, passed through the eye of the needle, which Henry refers to in the title of his autobiography, and which you can also see in the beautiful short video of his life, The Eye of the Needle. Henry has embodied the absolute best of the English spirit, and one can understand through the example of his life and character how father would see and later refer to the British culture as splendid and the British as gentlemen. Father might well have seen this from elsewhere, but there is no doubt that he saw it perfectly epitomized in the very person of Henry Masters. And now, as they say, the rest is history. God bless you, Henry, and may you rest in absolute peace. Thank you.
Last Monday, we were all shocked and deeply saddened by the sudden passing of our beloved brother, Mayor Andrew Ian Johnson, known just as Andy. I'm David Rennie, Andy's spiritual father in our holy community. When I was asked to write a tribute to Andy Johnson, I asked advice from his beloved daughter Ruth, what tone it should convey, and she replied, well, Daddy loves humour, so please be funny. Please look at this picture. This is how Andy loved enthralling his audience with a story. I don't know if I can be quite that jolly right now, but I will try. Andy and I met at Heatherwood Hospital in Ascot, where he worked as an electrical maintenance engineer and as a putter. You can see from our appearance how we were attracted to each other with some rather nefarious shared lifestyles. Andy said to me he ran a weekly music club in nearby Aldershot. I said, you go there? No, I run it. he replied. I suddenly saw a man who had great ability and a strong will to achieve what he put his mind to. I was quite in awe of Andy. Well, I think he regarded me as simply rather strange. I'm still in awe of him, and he is probably still quite right. Andy was the youngest child in his family, and when I look at this rather old picture, I imagine I see the face of a man of destiny. In early 1976, Alan from Liverpool was witnessing from the farm in Oxford town centre when he met Tim Hewish. Alan gave him 2 green witnessing leaflets called the Tree of Life. One Tim kept, Tim joined. The other I kept, and I joined. Some months later, I was back home in Ascot, contemplating who to witness to, when a loud voice from within boomed at me, "Go now and witness to Andy." I laughed at my spirit guide and replied, "Nah, he wouldn't be suitable. He's not religious. He's not this, he's not..." And the voice said to me in no uncertain terms, "You're wrong, selfish, an overwhelmingly arrogant fool. Just do what you're told to do. Don't answer back. Go and witness to Andy Johnson." So I walked straight down the country lane into Andy's flat and burst into his room, proclaiming, "The kingdom is at hand. Find the married Messiah. Overcome evil," etc., etc., with a rather overlarge proclamatory voice. He said, "David, I'm getting engaged this weekend, and would you like to see the ring I've just bought for my fiancée? You seem to be a member of a church, so will you get me married?" I wasn't going to lie, and I sincerely said yes, on one condition. If that's not the person who God has chosen for you, you will marry someone else, but I will help you. To my astonishment, he said yes, and Andy and his girlfriend went together by train to the Reading workshop that very weekend. During the second chapter lecture, Andy's girlfriend got very uncomfortable, became disruptive and argumentative with the lecturer. Andy told her to shut up, and she replied that they should both leave the workshop. Andy strongly said, "Well, you can leave, but I'm staying. This is important. Look at the measure of this man. Feel the power of his righteousness." She went back to Andy's mother and in tears said Andy had been brainwashed by a dangerous cult and was lost. Andy's mother must have been terrified. Needless to say, those two never got married. Andy went up to Dunbar in Scotland, first for workshops and then to join. One of my life's finest moments occurred there when I met Andy's dear mother. She heard my name mentioned and said, "Are you the Dave?" As I said yes, she came up to me, hugged me and said, "I want to thank you for saving my boy." Andy was a formidable fundraiser, fearless, energetic, naturally skilled with people, really clever, really resourceful, and so determined that he even became national fundraising champion for a while. Whenever we were running out of plants, which we did quite often in the wilds of Scotland, Andy would double the price, with the strange consequence that people then bought even more of them, seeing greater value in the products. Back in England, Andy sincerely, religiously loved God and loved true parents by loving all the people he was associated with. He founded Lifeline to give hope and practical guidance to members going through tough spiritual times. He'd experienced a few hard times himself, so he could speak with wisdom and compassion without any taste of harsh moral judgment. He loved helping our youth and would do anything for their spiritual well-being. This passion he was able to pass on to Ruth when she became United Kingdom CARP Director. This made him really proud. When he spoke to you, you knew that he cared for you directly, personally and sincerely, even if he could sometimes be rude, especially to me. I wonder why. He was respectful to his elders, but was never afraid to speak out about a contentious point he believed to be true. This made him so valuable as a leading committee member of our church and as a highly respected counsellor in his adopted hometown of Devizes. He found happiness with his beautiful wife, Kayako-san, because he gave happiness and he truly lived for others, especially for her. He gave all three of his children the confidence that comes from the certain knowledge that they are adored. A short while ago, his consistent service to the community was recognized by Devizes Council, and he was unanimously elected mayor and his wife mayoress. Yes, he was our mayor, our older brother, our elder in so many ways, our leader, our pioneer, a fearless giant of a man in the proverbial shoes of a servant, expressing God's parental love in action. What a good legacy to leave your dear wife, your children, and their children. We're privileged to have walked with him, and we will walk together again in the light of our true parents that clearly guided his way. God bless you, Andy Johnson, in your celestial journey. We are grateful. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you for all of those kind and precious words about these beloved members. Of course, passing on is a new life, a rebirth into our eternal lives in the spirit world. I also have some joyful news to share with you about the births, the live births here on earth of quite a few new members of our community. Here is a photo montage of some new babies who have been born just this year. Now I would like to share with you a brief report about our Sunday worship services that we have been hosting online. Of course, as soon as lockdown started, it presented a challenge to our communities. Our regular Sunday services, whether that was every week or once or twice a month, they were a central feature of our community's activities. And with ourselves being in a position where we are no longer able to meet physically, we had to come up with a new way to worship together. For many weeks, we experimented with using the Zoom software to meet together for our worship services. And more recently, we've had a couple of experiences where we experimented with pre-recording the content, which was then live streamed on their Sunday morning, followed by fellowship on Zoom. Every single community has now had a chance to prepare for delivering a Sunday service. In fact, the final community, the Scottish community, will be delivering their program tomorrow morning. So please tune in tomorrow morning to join our Scottish brothers and sisters as they lead us in the worship service tomorrow. But it's been exciting. It's given us the opportunity to receive contributions from many members who may not otherwise have had the opportunity to do so. Of course, there are limitations as well, and we're trying our best to smoothen out any problems that come up. But basically, I want to invite your continual contributions. If you want to submit a song or a musical offering, please make a recording of yourself and submit it to either myself or to Raymond, and we can prepare a video, an edited video that can be included as part of our worship service. It could be a song which you are performing for brothers and sisters simply to listen to, or you could be leading worship. I'm sure you've seen some of the songs that we have used. Some of them have the lyrics on the screen so that brothers and sisters can sing along. Some of the other songs have been more of a performance as an offering. Both are welcome. We're also on the lookout for people who can deliver content. Especially we're looking for younger people who can perhaps share with a fresh perspective. So if you do feel like God has planted a message in you, please get in touch and we can help you to serve our national community by contributing towards our national worship services. In the month of June, we're still putting together a program. So details about the worship services in the month of June will be announced as those details are confirmed. But I can already let you know that the first Sunday of June, Sunday the 7th of June, is going to be a North Europe sub-regional online worship service. We're going to join together with our brothers and sisters from Ireland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark and Finland, spanning 3 different time zones, 3 hours apart from each other. And here in the UK, we're going to be starting at 10 o'clock, an hour earlier than usual. So please, next Sunday, the 7th of June, tune in to the live stream, which will be hosted by the UK Family Federation YouTube channel, the same as the last few weeks. Tune into that at 10 o'clock in the morning, next Sunday, the 7th of June, to join together with our Nordic nations for the North Europe sub-regional online worship service. Now I'm going to invite a number of brothers and sisters to share about some ongoing activities and also upcoming projects and activities.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Patrick Hanna, and together with my wife Yebony, we are part of the European Second Generation Department. I wanted to take the opportunity this morning to share an update of our work. So firstly, we have the Done Educational Programme, which is a big part of our work each year. This year has been quite different. We're currently 2 months in to our online education programme. Big thanks to all the staff and participants who've continued attending, participating, supporting each other to carry on learning, and thanks to the lecturers and educators who've also been supporting us. We're coming to the close of that online education period. We just have a couple more weeks, and then we still have the hope to conclude it in person. So let's see how that goes, but we're super grateful for all the investment this year. I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to the UK representatives this year. We had Jessica Frith, Alicia Labar, Sarah Roselli, Casey Fagkang, Fiona Curry, Victor Raineri, and on the staff team we had Edward Mona and we had Uncle William Haynes lecturing us on 2 occasions. So big thanks also to the parents who've been supporting behind the scenes. We really appreciate it. Importantly, this year we plan to run Done 2020 in the autumn time. This week we plan to open registration, so look out for a memo from European headquarters and also check out our website www.esgd.org. Some of you may have questions, some of you are planning to apply, so I just recommend please register early and feel free to be in touch with any questions because it could be for you. So secondly, we still have the plan to run our summer activities, not quite as planned, but we still want to offer something for the high school age and also for the young adult age. And importantly, there will be the chance for elder brothers and sisters to serve as part of the staff team. We're going to send a memo out this week through European headquarters and also our website, www.esgd.org. Please keep an eye out for that provisional information. There'll be the chance to register, and we hope things can become much clearer as things develop and progress. We hope to see a lot of Brits this year as we have in recent years. And even though we've experienced the potential of online education together, we still crave the real life experience, being together, learning together, growing together. So hope to see many of you there. Thanks for all your support. All the best. Bye.
Dear brothers and sisters, as you may know, True Mother started Youth and Students for Peace, or YSP, 3 years ago. Since then it's become really popular around the world, and recently more and more also in Europe and Middle East. This value-based approach to educating young people, including our blessed children, might really be good in UK. So that's why right now we're looking for a team of young people to start YSP right over there. The ultimate purpose of everything that we do in YSP is to spread the youth culture in our movement with the young people in society. So we have values like responsibility, integrity, service, and empathy, but ultimately it's this feeling of brotherhood and sisterhood that we have, especially with the second generation, that we want to experience with all young people in society. So we have a few ways of how YSP goes about doing that. So first thing the team needs to do is become familiar with those. And then once you've found what really inspires you and what you can do in your community, then you'll get started. You'll work together with the young people in your community and in society, and you can have a great impact. So, brothers and sisters, it's going to be an awesome journey and you can make a great future for the UK. So let's go together, you and me, let's go!
Good morning. I hope you're all well. I want to invite you to a new experimental workshop I'll be teaching through Zoom from June the 1st. It's called Joining the Dots because it'll be examining some of the philosophical, scientific, political, economic, and social implications of aspects of the principle and comparing them with the philosophy of the Bible as well as Greek philosophy. It's important and interesting to do this as it enables us to uncover the roots of European culture which shape the world in which we live in ways we cannot even begin to imagine. We'll discuss topics such as ontology, philosophy of language, chaos theory and evolution, gender issues, cultural Marxism, postmodernism, a myth, Platonism, and recent foreign policy, and see how we can apply the principle and engage with these topics and issues in a meaningful and constructive way. I do hope you'll be able to attend and participate. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Mia Gardiner and I have been involved in HARP this year. I would just like to update you on some of the projects and activities that have been going on more recently. So first off, we have been very lucky to be able to hear lectures twice a week from Uncle William on Zoom, and we have also been holding a bi-weekly shindig event for our HARP members in which they are able to hear some short practical guidance from our young adults. And also it's been a great opportunity for the HARP members themselves to share something about what they have learnt through an experience in their own lives. It's also been a chance for them to showcase their talents and abilities through performances and overall a great time to spend together. We have also been holding bi-weekly Bible study sessions which have been organised by Benny Vitae in collaboration with some of our elder members of our community, and there have also been games every Saturday on Zoom. And finally, our UK HARP Summer Workshop is scheduled to take place from the 17th to the 28th of August. However, applications will only open when we are able to confirm whether the workshop will go ahead on Zoom or in Cleeve House. So if you would like to stay updated or just find out more information about anything HARP related, please send us an email at ukharp@gmail.com or contact us on our Facebook page at HARP UK. Thank you. See you soon.
Hello everybody. Welcome again to the UK Providence Meeting. We wanted to have these meetings every month, and I'm really sorry to note that it's been 4 months since we gathered at the High Lee Centre back in January. Of course, so much has happened since then. We had the World Summit in Korea, we came back, and we've been in lockdown now for almost 3 months. But it's time to share with you again about some of the highlights of what's going on with our True Parents and our True Parents Providence. And the first thing I want to do is introduce you to the Chosen project that is screening every day at 5 o'clock British time. It's a 3-week seminar about the life and the teachings of our true parents, and it's designed for everybody. It's for ministers, it's for pastors, it's for unificationists, it's for our friends. And to step back a little bit, after the rally at the Prudential Center in New Jersey at the end of last year, True Mother commented to us the next day at breakfast, you know, that was a great victory and an important proclamation for God, but it can't stop with just a proclamation. You have to follow up, and you have to teach these pastors and teach yourselves and share about the truth of God and about the significance of this time in history. So when Dr. Ki-Hun Kim, the regional chair for North America, heard those words, he thought, right, what we need to do is provide a 21-day workshop for all those who came to the Prudential Center. And they held the first 7 days of that at the IPEC Training Center in Las Vegas. It was a wonderful workshop. About 300 people came, 100 Christian pastors and maybe 200 members. But after the 7 days was over, they felt, okay, we will come back again for a second 7 days. It couldn't happen, of course, because of lockdown. So they just concluded 40 days online, every day at 6 o'clock in the evening, New York time, 40 days of divine principle study. So that counted for the second 7 days. And they wanted to take a break, but Dr. Kim said, no, keep moving forward. Now's the time to share about True Parents' life, but not just in the way that people have heard it before through lectures and PowerPoints, but you should share the original stories of the first missionaries, of the different countries, of what it was like when True Parents came to visit. And that's what's been going on. It's already been running almost a week. And just yesterday, we were able to watch the segment that we recorded, the first segment from Europe. And I was joined by Dieter Schmidt from Germany, and for Eva Perkowski from Czech, from Matteo and Melinda Zico from Albania, and Sally Ann Franklin right here in the UK. And we shared just a little bit about the impact that True Parents have made on our lives and upon the people of Europe. And there's much more to come. So I really want to encourage all of you, please sign up for this program. It streams live every day at 5. And if you want to, you can get a paid access. It's about £30. And that allows you to watch any episode at any time and get access to a lot of other material as well. Feedback's been really good, and there's been several thousand people watching. My vision is that before too long, we can have a cable channel or a full-time channel dedicated to the story of True Parents. It's really exciting, and I'd like to see you there. The second topic I want to mention is the new websites that we've created, and in particular, the one for the centenary, which is smm100.org, or thelegacyoflove.org, the one specifically for this year, and the longer website for the years to come. And we've done a lot of work here to assemble a snapshot of the kind of things that True Parents have done and the impact that they've made on the world. Some of you participated in our webinar about a month ago, but beyond that, we need action right now. You know, I'm really inspired by Joyce Suda, who got really encouraged by this website and started sending it out to all of her friends, 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 7 at a time. And I think she's already reached over 200 people, and the feedback has been good. It's a beautiful site, lots of really great resources. And now there's a Facebook page as well. And of course, when people go to visit on Facebook, the chances of multiplication are that much greater. So I want to encourage you to spread the word about this site and about True Parents using social media. If you use Facebook, that's a good place to start, but you could use Instagram or Twitter, WhatsApp, whatever you like. The key point is to share it in bite-sized portions to your friends and let them taste for themselves. You know, Father always used to say, your responsibility is to introduce people to me and to the principle. Their responsibility is to have their ears open and to listen. And there's a responsibility for God and the spirit world too, which is to prepare the way. But if you don't open your mouth, if you don't share it first, nothing will happen. So, brothers and sisters, here in the UK, frankly speaking, we could do a lot better. We have to let people know about our True Parents, and this resource website is really a great place to start. And there's another exciting development as well, which is True Mother's memoir called Mother of Peace is about to be published in English. In fact, it's already available in the United States, and you can order it at hsabooks.com or from Amazon in the United States. But we're going to have a version right here in Europe very soon. It's going to be a little bit cheaper and easier to ship. So I want to encourage you to get hold of this great memoir, The Mother of Peace. And again, the key point is after you've read it, to share it with your friends. So one thing you might do is order some copies so that you can start a little lending library among your neighbors and close friends. Another thing you can do is send them to people, either directly yourself or through Amazon. We're also making translations into many other languages, but honestly speaking, that's going to take 3 or 4 months. So if you speak English, you have English contents, there's a tremendous opportunity. And this is really a very interesting memoir by True Mother. The first chapter deals with her early life in Korea and tells some of the backstory, as you would say, of her mother and grandmother and the Korean War. Of course, there's a section on how she met Father and the Holy Wedding. And there's some really deep insights into how Mother gradually learned more and more about God, the Heavenly Parent, and recognized that as God's daughter, God was counting on her to bring divine love to the world. It's really a fascinating read. It's not such a long book, about the same size as True Father's autobiography. So I encourage you, get hold of that book, Mother of Peace, and share it widely. Finally, I'd like to just tell you briefly what's going on with True Mother in the months to come. So in June and July and in August, towards the end of each month, True Mother wants to have a big online rally. And not a rally in the old sense, but a time of teaching and proclamation where True Mother can give her message with a particular target group in mind. And at the end of June, that target group is the former and current heads of state. So we'll be having 3 regional conferences by Zoom around the end of the month. The dates are not quite clear yet, but on the 28th of June, most likely a Sunday, there'll be a culmination. True Mother will give her message, and some of the recorded highlights of the regional meetings will take place. And it's not just for heads of state, of course. Actually, anybody can watch this. It's really inspiring content. The following month will probably be parliamentarians, and the month after that, religious leaders. And then that will bring us up to the 8th anniversary, the 9th recognition of True Father's Holy Sungwa at the beginning of September. And just to remind ourselves, True Mother has declared the Heavenly Parent's holy community. And what does that really mean? I personally think that Mother is reminding us that we cannot do this alone. Of course, we're all familiar with her exhortation that you can't do things by human effort alone, and that we need the help of God. But how does that help of God really manifest? In reality, I think it comes often through other people. And what we need are partners and friends, a community, in fact, of people from all kinds of different backgrounds who are yet committed to the same goal, which is to create a better society, a society where God can be at the center. I know these people are prepared. Some are Muslims, Christians, Jews, Sikhs, doesn't matter, but they are ready. And True Mother has come as the center of this providence, and she's encouraging us, now is the time to build this holy community. Well, what difference does that make in daily life? I think one thing it is, we shouldn't be silent. We shouldn't just come to church on a Sunday or watch the Zoom every Sunday and think that's enough for our life of faith. No, every day, at least we should be reaching out to one person. 3 would be better. But even one person a day, 7 a week, 30 a month, think how much difference that could make in 1 year. And we're inviting people to fulfill their heart's desire, which is to come into the community of God. They've been yearning for it. Their spiritual world, their ancestors are yearning for it. So we should be confident, brothers and sisters. The time has come to build that holy community. Now, this weekend, we have our Council of Communities meeting, and we're exploring how we can change and transform ourselves so as to better fulfill the expectation of God in this time. I know that many people are suffering in difficulty, and we began today by acknowledging some of our dear brothers and sisters who've ascended to the spirit world. We miss them all. But life goes on, and we must go on, and I believe our Heavenly Parent will be with us. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you.
Hey everyone, Josh here, and you'll be now watching a quick website tour of our new public site, familyfed.co.uk. I hope you enjoy it and you gain an understanding of what we've been working on for the past few months. Alright, so let's get started with this tour. Now to begin, I'd just like to explain kind of our goals. in setting out to make this public website. So as a public site, we want this website to basically give a basic understanding of what we are about as a movement. Therefore, we have tried to basically keep it simple. We want this to be a website where members can show their extended friends, they can show their extended family, and if a member of the public wants to know more about us, this is the site to come, this is the site to direct people to. Now, this website was created primarily by myself and Dongsun. She was working on the technical side, programming and all of that, with contributions from Mike and Matthew. So let's get into it. So we have 5 main pages. We have the first page here, who we are page. We have our founders, our goals, kind of who we are. I have the Needle documentary as well as a link to the new Centenary website. We have a principles page. We talk here about, our core beliefs. We have core principles here. We have some content in the form of speeches as well as a link to Godable over here. We have a ministries page over here where we are able to look at the organizations which we are part of, as well as here we have a short montage of our national as well as international activities. You may recognize some people in the video. We felt it was important to include a Blessed Families page, as that is really a big part of what we're about. So here we introduce kind of the matching and blessing, as well as here. And we have a contact us page, which we felt was very important for this kind of website, as if members of the public stumble across the site and they want to get more involved, this is the place to come, as you can sign up for newsletters, daily inspiration, as well as be put in contact with pastors. So yes, a thing to mention at this point is on the top left of the first 4 pages, there is a short video. We've placed this in the top left point, so it's easy to know which is the video. Now, these are short videos explaining key concepts and effectively what we're about. This content is of a pretty high quality, so we felt it was useful to take videos that are already out there and incorporate them into this website, as videos are, as everyone knows, very popular means of digesting content and spreading information. What you'll notice is on each of the pages, on the top left there is a Get Involved box, and we also have this tab. If we click the Get Involved or the tab, this brings out a sidebar, which here we'd like to highlight kind of important aspects of the website. So as we can see, the first thing we see is join our services, especially in this era of COVID-19. We felt it was important to highlight if people want to get involved in our online services. After lockdown, we will change this to be a way to contact pastors. We've also highlighted latest content, as well as, again, the Centenary 2020, as this is quite an important thing we want to push this year. We have here all the articles, all the videos, as well as the audiobook that is currently being released. And as you can see, when you hover over our box, you can kind of see what it's about. And when you go ahead and click into a box, a separate article comes up. Here we have I have the Needle documentary, where at the top we have a video, and here we have content. Most of the content is presented in this format, where we have an image across the top and content at the bottom. So here we have our core principles page, where we have a short little video of divine principle, as well as content here. So this is how it's structured, but we've also implemented ways for people to get involved and for engagement. Here we have a prayer page, which people can submit their prayer requests, and if they would like to be, they could be contacted by pastors. We've also implemented other media that is already out there, like the Mother of Peace website, which is of a very high quality, as well as the Godable. We plan to update this as more media becomes available, as I think right now there is a chosen True Parents kind of life course series airing, so we'd like to put that out. I've also been told that there is the Divine Principle lecture series being created, so one for the public. So obviously that would go on here as well. We also have links to our social media. So yeah, this is kind of a basic overview of the site. And yeah, we would like our membership to distribute it with their extended family and friends. And as we close up this project, we look forward to working on the community site, which is a website for our membership more. This is a website for the public mainly, and there are still some things to be done to it, but at this point we feel like we've come quite far, especially from where we started. So yeah, thank you, and I hope you enjoy looking at the website, and if you have any feedback, please send it my way. Please don't hesitate to send feedback to my email address, which is pr@ffwpu.org.uk, and I'll also be sending out a questionnaire which will help us as we start to work towards our community website. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. Since before the current lockdown, the public places and rooms at 43 Lancaster Gate have been getting a makeover. All kinds of events and meetings take place there, so there's a lot of wear and tear issues. However, now as you approach the building, you are greeted by beautiful flowers on the railings, and these are now a permanent feature. As you enter the building, you'll notice the walls and the ceilings have been painted, and there are no cracks in the ceilings anymore. There's an exhibition celebrating True Father's centenary and True Parents' visits to the UK over the past 4 decades. The floors in the hallway and cafe have been sanded, varnished and polished. New furniture is being ordered for the cafe, including a quality coffee maker. The chandeliers are brighter and dimmable. The Kent Room has been transformed into an office for our National Director, UPF staff and Women's Federation staff. The old UPF office has been converted into a beautiful meeting room and is now called the York Room. CCTV coverage has also been extended. And of course, we mustn't forget the beautiful ballroom, which looks splendid with its new coat of paint throughout. So we look forward to opening headquarters soon and welcoming you back for your meetings and events. Bye for now.
I would now like to share with you a short report about the pastor training program which took place last month. You know, many pastors have been serving in their role without having received any formal training or support. Often it's a brother or a sister who already has a full-time job perhaps, and yet volunteers to take on the role of leading a community spiritually, which is very challenging. And yet we haven't been able to support brothers and sisters that much in terms of training or guidance. So we wanted to invite Pastor Kevin Thompson, who is a Brit himself, but he has been serving with his wife Matsuko-san as the pastor of the Bay Area Family Church in San Francisco. We wanted to invite him to come to the UK to deliver a program to maybe 20 or 30 people. But because of the coronavirus situation, we had to change our plan. Instead, we decided to host the program online, which of course made the program a lot more economical. There were no expensive travel costs or accommodation fees or food costs. We can actually offer the program entirely for free. People simply had to register and we would share the Zoom link with them. And in fact, we had more than 340 people registered to participate, not just from the UK, but we opened it up to the whole Europe and Middle East region. And even beyond that, we had people registering from North America, South America, Africa, and Asia. So it was a very popular program. So for 2 weeks, we had Pastor Kevin Thompson and a number of other contributors. We had a second generation pastor couple from the USA, the president of UTS, a few Sunday school educators, also our own pastor couple, Franklin and Cecilia Fortune. So every day for 2 hours, these presenters would deliver some content. We had a bit of time for some discussion. And overall, it was a very successful program. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive. And at the end of the program, we actually invited brothers and sisters to offer donations of gratitude. and we received more than £4,800, which to me indicates, first of all, that it was a valuable program and that indeed people felt moved to give generously. But also it demonstrates that it's possible to host such programs online for free, and if the program is worth it, then we can expect significant contributions to come from brothers and sisters if they are given the opportunity to do so. One of the most important outcomes of this pastor training program is the creation of a pastors association. So our Europe and Middle East chair couple, Dr. and Mrs. Balcom, have asked Franklin and Cecilia Fortune to lead this pastors association, which they have agreed to do. And so for the whole Europe and Middle East region, these pastors are now going to be invited to become a part of this association. They're going to get support, and we're going to begin with a series of monthly webinars, which is starting next week, in fact, on Tuesday the 2nd of June. And we've invited Pastor Kevin Thompson back again to present. But this will hopefully evolve into an association which can really support pastors thrive as individuals and in their families, and in so doing be able to help their communities grow and thrive as well.
Hi everyone, this is Daniel
and Emma Lindstrom. We just completed the marriage course run by HTB London. We did this course 8 years ago when our first child was born, and I think what really amazed us this time around and surprised us actually was how much we've changed as individuals, but also in our marriage, how much we've changed and grown, hopefully. The marriage course is split into 8 sessions, 7 topics covering issues such as communication, forgiveness, the impact of families on your marriage, all really good topics. And I think it's really brilliant in that it opens up the conversation, facilitates conversation between you and your spouse, which is so easily lost in pressures of modern living and working, and raising children. And it's been really brilliant for us, I think, to just have this time once a week to sit together and discuss issues and really learn more about each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, we highly recommend it.
Yeah, and it just helps you to understand each other better, and that you have different backgrounds or different cultures, different family backgrounds. And it's just amazing. Also learning about each other's needs or different ways of giving and receiving love. And yeah, it goes on and on. There's so many exercises in the course, and it's been life-changing every time we've done it, and so we can't really recommend it enough. It's just incredible. So find a course. There's online courses. The movement's doing running the course as well in different parts of the world, online now as well. So get on a course, and it's going to be the best thing you ever do for your marriage.
Absolutely.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Good morning. I was asked to give a short testimony about our Divine Principle study evenings here in the Wales and West Country region. So, I was asked to become pastor of this expanded Wales and West Country region here in the UK, and was ready, like all pastors, as we do, to go out and about and meet brothers and sisters. And then suddenly we were told that all meetings were cancelled and were still, because of this coronavirus, then we had to stay at home as well. I guess we were all left wondering a little bit what we were going to do and how we were going to function. And then by magic, Zoom came along. Now, I'd never heard of this before the virus struck, and suddenly I'm in a Zoom meeting, and the next thing is I'm setting up an account, and I have this Zoom account. So I have the Zoom account and wondering, well, okay, what's next? Well, I love studying the principle, and perhaps more than that, I love to discuss and try to understand the depth of it, less so than the breadth of it in terms of the external content. And I try to understand it better also through other people's eyes. So this Zoom business gave me the idea that we can start a Zoom Divine Principle study evening, but focusing a little bit more on the internal questions and discussion rather than on the external details of the principle. Of course, in reading it, we are covering the details. Anyway, I'm not sure if we are actually accomplishing what I thought to do, but anyway, well, we are doing it just the same. I posted up on our Facebook page about the study evening, and quite a number of people showed interest in joining the study. And in fact, over the weeks we've been doing it, we've had 15 to 20 links consistently, and this has proved very encouraging and positive. We read the outline of the principle, the level 4, which is the green book or the small brown book, whichever, and it isn't such a detailed version of the principle, but the main points are there. So we can keep it simple in order to focus on opportunities for questions, expressing viewpoints, simply having give and take centering on the principle, and generally allowing ourselves to open up our minds and our hearts to others' opinions without being critical or judgmental. It is a way for us to share ideas, to study, and to change or modify even our own ideas, increase our understanding, and even recognizing that at times we need to be a little bit more flexible in our thinking. That is, to become a little less rigid and allow ourselves to be more open and willing sometimes to let go of old ideas in order to absorb new ones, or simply to gain a new and deeper understanding. Sometimes it's a little bit challenging. I mean, that's normal when people have discussions and they're sharing, but it's always done so in a spirit of openness and friendliness, and we do try to keep everyone, or to give everyone, a chance to share something that they might want to bring to the meeting, and after about an hour we close the session. So perhaps the most fruitful part, though, is as brothers and sisters, we are able to meet up with one another from all over the country and indeed the world, and in this new medium, so that although the lockdown has created many problems, it hasn't stopped us using our creativity in finding new ways to meet up, and that, of course, is always good. So that's about it. I hope that that was something inspiring enough for you. Anyway, thank you very much.
It'd be nice to give a short report about the Universal Peace Federation's recent activities. The Universal Peace Federation has this role to support the Heavenly Parents of the Holy Community by reaching out to its global network. And we ourselves have been trying to figure out how we can revise our activities, refine them in a way to respond to this new structure, this particularly as a campaign for theism, but to bring in both religious, the political, the scholarly, many different areas which now come under a UPF's banner. There's been a lot of cooperation between Birmingham and London, and also our joint activities with Europe and the Middle East, and supporting our international webinars. So David and Patricia, Margaret, myself, Joyce, have been cooperating a lot to organize joint conferences. First one we held was April 2nd. We looked at this post-COVID-19 world and what chance would there be for a different kind of world, a world of interdependence, mutual prosperity, universal values, looking at possible changes through a UPF-type prism. And we had some wonderful presentations from Dr. Balcom, also from Keith Best, and from a number of other contributors from Birmingham and from London. On April 8th, there was an interview with Bishop Ria during Passion Week. Bishop Ria Abu El-Asal is a former Anglican Bishop of Jerusalem and a good friend. And he used to really support our MEPI activities, so it was a great chance to reconnect with him. We had a domestic violence during lockdown conference on April 16th, which brought together some experts and activists from different organizations who could show the resources that were available during this time. And we were able to promote their work on our networks. The role of religious leaders in the coronavirus crisis was also a good conference, looking at the role of religious leaders guiding people. Think of living for the sake of others. Decoding Parenting, it's going to start this afternoon at 2 o'clock. I will be guided by Nicola Bailey and Toyota Advili, and it will be a 7-week course teaching about the family as a school of love from a parenting perspective. And helping people to develop their skills of parenting. Then on Monday, there is a Zoom conference looking from the point of view of parliamentarians. How can parliamentarians improve global governance? A number of parliamentarians from the UK, from Morocco, from Pakistan will contribute to this discussion. During this time also, we've been supporting European webinars and also international UPF webinars. And that's really helped us to broaden our base and invite people to see a global reach of our network.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Ala Zubovskis is here. I was asked to share about my experience as Women's Federation Bromley Branch coordinator in organizing recent online event, which we held on 16th of May to commemorate International Family Day. Because of the short notice, I would have to use my notes. Sorry about that. Originally, we scheduled to have this event in Greenwich University on 24th of March to commemorate International Women's Day and UK Mother's Day. On the 11th of March, it was a beautiful sunny day, and I went to Greenwich University to distribute invitations with the help of Miyako Davis and her amazing witnessing team, which I'm very grateful for that help and support. On the same day, I went to House of Parliament, where Women's Federation organized an event to commemorate International Women's Day, and there I also shared invitations. However, during the coronavirus pandemic and lockdown, we had to cancel the event. Fortunately, everything happens for good. We decided with our lovely Mrs. Miti Toma and Tanya Chandler, who is my amazing assistant, to go ahead and organize an event online. At this time, we used the opportunity of International Family Day to talk about the value of mothers in the family and the challenges mothers and families are facing during the coronavirus pandemic. Due to personal health issues, I could not participate in the event, but to my delight, Natasha Hughes did a wonderful job as my representative, and as my envoy, she shared my speech about the vision of our beloved founders and about the deep and unique role of mothers, who are the very first educators in children's lives. Natasha also shared about her own rich experience as home educator, which we have in common, and of the honor in this role. Our second guest speaker was Dr. Nicola Bailey, who is the parenting and family support educationist, and she spoke on the challenges for mothers and families during the coronavirus pandemic. The third speaker was Miss Sharon Kabubi, who is the member of WFWP Central London branch. Sharon shared about the Young Women's Speech Contest, which is the WFWP UK flagship education program. For Sharon, this contest was a turning point in her life, and she encourages other young women to join this empowering program to gain confidence and support for personal development and public speaking. And the event was concluded by uplifting remarks from WFWP UK President Mrs. Miti Toma. So to conclude, as a first experience, it was a very successful event, and we received many positive feedbacks, and there was about 45 attendants from UK and international community like Japan, South Africa and America. We are planning in the future to develop online webinars as a great platform for education, for promoting family values and supporting women of all walks of life. That's all for today. Thank you very much.
Everybody, wherever you are in the world, good day to you. I'm from BCLC, British Clergy Leadership in London, Great Britain, and our motto is to bring God back into the nations, to support True Mother's vision to restore world to Heavenly Parent. That is our mission. By God's providence, we have taken advantage that is in COVID-19. The lockdown has given us a great inspiration, a great insight into doing things, and we did not focus on the negative side of things, but on the positive side of things. And through the positive side of things, we have been able to use Zoom to reach so many people in Africa, in Europe, and through Zoom again, we have explored other things such as networking with other pastors and supporting them. Principally, the advantages that we have found in the last few months is that our face-to-face that we used to have a meeting at Lancaster Gate, which gathers a few number of people, but now through Zoom, we have been having seminars fortnightly on Mondays, that is twice every month. Also, every other Mondays, we've been having training for the leaders here in London, the BCS. So every week we have something to do. And above that, it has also become possible because Reverend David, who is very passionate about teaching and giving lectures and training, is helping us a great deal. We have seen an increased number of ministers and pastors, like about 70 coming to our midst. Also, number 3, the attendance is increasing. Number 4, Pastor Matthew has also helped us to build up a database of registration through the breeze so we can keep track of those people who are the ministers who are attending our meetings. On item 5, is, as I mentioned, the database is being compiled and we are following it through. Item 6, existing pastors and leaders are finding deep understanding of divine principle through the teaching we are receiving. Number 7, in addition to Reverend David Hanna, Pastor Matthew Haish, Reverend Isaac Ayani, myself, Daniel Fenuga, we have been able to give lectures as well. The German Leadership Conference have employed the services of us here in London, and on the 13th of June, Reverend Pastor Isaac Ayani will be giving a lecture there. We have also supporting the American clergies in their 40 days of divine principles lectures. On a general note, we are supporting different pastors and different denominations in their Bible studies and the other things that they are doing. And in particular, the testimonials we are receiving is that, wow, it is very inspiring, the thing that is going on. And also, I myself, Reverend Daniel, had a great insight into what True Mother is doing in America and in the World Summit in Korea. And we give thanks to God for all that is happening. Knowledge is very, very important. And we are getting some good things, some great insight into the use of the divine principles. We thank God for the life that Mother Moon and Father Moon had. And we bless them. Amen. God bless you all.
Before we conclude our UK Providence meeting, the final thing that we're going to do today is join together in some hundoke. Inspired by True Mother launching the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, I'm now going to read to you some quotations from some of the world's scriptures. From the Quran, Surah 3. Hold fast altogether to God's rope, and be not divided among yourselves. Remember with gratitude God's favor on you, for you were enemies, and he joined your hearts in love, so that by his grace you became brethren. You were on the brink of the fiery pit, and he saved you from it. Thus does God make his signs clear to you, that you may be guided. Let there arise out of you one community, inviting to all that is good, enjoining what is right, and forbidding what is wrong. Those will be prosperous. Be not like those who are divided among themselves, and fall into disputations after receiving clear signs. For them, is a dreadful penalty. From the Rig Veda. Meet together, speak together. Let your minds be of one accord, as the gods of old, being of one mind, accepted their share of the sacrifice. May your counsel be common, your assembly common, common the mind, and the thoughts of these united. A common purpose do I lay before you, and worship with your common oblation. Let your aims be common, and your hearts of one accord, and all of you be of one mind, so you may live well together. From the Gospel of John, chapter 17. I do not pray for these only, but also for those who believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, even as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. From St. Paul's letter to the Galatians, chapter 3. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. These are True Father's words from God's Will and the World. To accomplish the gigantic task of unification, we need to find a gigantic power. This is none other than the power of supreme love, love that does not become the circumstantial victim of society. Supreme love transcends every national, racial, and cultural barrier. Ordinary human love is limited. Down through history, it has shown itself unable to overcome these barriers. Therefore, we must center on the love and heart of God. People from the East and West rejoice to meet here today, because around that axis, the heart of God is linking us together as one.
Shall be his pride and delight, children of the living God, into the world of binary gain. Let's go marching together. The Father's dwelling
Thank you, brothers and sisters, for participating in this live stream of our UK Providence meeting. I would like to conclude with prayer. Our loving Heavenly Parent, thank you so much for all the contributions made by our brothers and sisters who offered their sincerity in reporting the activities that have taken place and in announcing plans for the upcoming weeks and months. I pray, Heavenly Parent, that you will now bless every single brother and sister participating today who has been present for this UK Providence meeting. I pray that we will all come away from this meeting feeling revived in our hearts with great hope, and I pray that we will now take this inspiration to fuel our work in our families and in our neighborhoods, to be able to make a difference in whatever way possible, to be change makers, people who can spread peace and love and joy through our influence. Open up doors for us to walk through, Heavenly Parent, and help us to be sensitive to the new opportunities that you have prepared for us, and we just need to be aware of them in order to grasp them. But Heavenly Parent, I pray that you will trust us. I pray that you will work with us, that you will continue to give us opportunities to grow and to give us opportunities to be channels for your blessing to this nation and to this world. All of these things I want to pray now and report in my name, Matthew Hurish of the Blessed Central Family. June. So I'd like to invite you now to go to Zoom and we can join together in discussion together.